next one, Holy Thursday, Idiomelon. So this is in hard chromatic. You see the symbol telling you hard chromatic based on Pa. I think the tricky part in this hymn is when you get into the upper tetrachord. Sometimes when I was chanting a phrase and say it's like dikezo, sometimes if I wasn't sure exactly where I was, I would sometimes try and put that zo up like as though it was ni, and that would throw me off. So you really need to practice this on paralegi pretty well so that you always know where you are within the two tetrachords. Because I think there's some phrases where it's kind of like it goes around gadi ke, or yeah, gadi kezo. And so you can start to kind of get lost in those phrases and not remember where you are. So just be aware that could be what's happening if you're getting off. So the interesting thing about this is I tend to think of as plagal 2, hard chromatic is jumping from pa to di a lot, but you have in this hymn a lot of pa to k. And so it has a different feel to it. There's one or two agya sections that we'll talk about when we get there. This phthora, I'm not sure why it's here. So you were right here, we went diatonic K, and this is an agya section. You have the isan moving up to the, and you're in the upper tetrachord. And then you end on the, and it takes you back to hard chromatic here. And you're still hard chromatic here. So I don't know why it's placed here, because this is a ga. And if you change this ga to the, then you don't end on pa, you end on ni. So I chose to ignore it. When I didn't ignore it, it didn't make sense. So you can choose to do what you would like there. Yeah, so it basically goes back and forth between hard chromatic and diatonic. Let me see if there's any other parts to talk about. No. At my church, we chant a different version, probably one on ByzantineChant.org, but I don't remember. And I never chant by myself at my church, so I don't remember how fast this should be. But I'm assuming that it goes pretty slow. So I have a tendency to chant too fast. So if I'm chanting too fast, feel free to, or actually not even feel free, please tell me to slow down because I want to do it the right way. Okay, so I can do the Greek part if you want me to. Hopefully my pronunciation will be passable. Okay, I'll go ahead and start then. Any questions about it before we start? Okay. Nice today. Oh, I'm supposed to do paralegi, sorry. So right away you have that up 4, which is a perfect fifth. And it sometimes, I feel like when you're doing the hard chromatic scale, then to throw in a perfect fifth, it sounds kind of funny, but so you may have to practice that. Pa ke ke di ke zo ni zo ke zo ke di ga di ke di ga di ke di ga di ga bu pa pa. And that was probably way too fast. Today who's suspended the Zo, ke, ke, zo. Vi, go, di, ke, zo, ke, di. Go, di, ke, di, vi. Ui, go, vi. Go, bu, pa, bu, go, di. Ke, di, go, di. Ga, bu, pa, pa. Si, meron, cremate, happy, xilu, oh, Anila, sitin, in cremasas. Ke, di, ke, zoni, zo, ke, zo, ke, di, go, di, ke, di, go, ke, di, go, di, go, vu, pa, pa. Akedi, kezoni, zokedi. Okay, so can anyone tell me what I just did there?
Switches to diatonic.
Yep. What pitch did it switch on? Do you know?
It switched on V.
Good. And where did the Isan move to at that point, or right after it?
The.
So what does that tell you?
Not quite.
Okay.
Oh.
Agya.
Yes, that's right, Agya. So that's because this is a sticker art, Kim. Okay, you see the long drawn out words in it. So any sticker art piece where, especially Plagal 2, where you go into the upper tetrachord and it's diatonic and the Isan is on D, then that's going to be Agya. And just to review, the upper tetrachord when you're in Agya, as you ascend, the K is pulled up and the Zo is pulled up. So they're attracted upwards towards Pa. And then when you descend, the Zo is flat, just like in a normal diatonic descent where the Zo is flat, and the K is natural, just like a normal diatonic K. So, Pa, ke, di, ke, zoni, zo, ke, di. So that's with the attractions. If you're not doing them, pa, ke, di, ke, zoni, zo, ke, di. Okay, they sound very different. So this is Agya again. Pa, ke, di, ke, zoni, zo, ke, di. Okay, and then it switches back to hard chromatic on that B. Ke, di, ga, di, vu, pa, pa. So it's just important that you, to get back into that you remember that the ga is really close. Because so you're ending on the on Jills of angels. And the K is the same in diatonic and hard chromatic, but then it's really your kind of linchpin, your key pitch to make sure you're getting back into hard chromatic is on that first ga and Di, ke, di, ga, di, ga, vu, pa, pa. Going on. pa vu ga di vu ga di ke zon ni. That doesn't sound right. Pa on he who reps. Pa vu ga di vu ga di ke zoni ke zoni pani ni pani zo ke. So that is one of the phrases that I was talking about right around on is wrapped in a fake purple, just the is wrapped in a part. When I was chanting this before, I'm going up and then all of a sudden I'm in diatonic and I'm like, oh, I don't think it's switched there. And I think that's because you're kind of around the, I don't know. For me, it's that you're in the ga, the K there for longer. My mind tends to like forget or something. So be careful there. That's really probably a phrase that I would practice a bunch on Parlegi. So I'm going to do it again on he who reps. Pa vu ga di vu ga di ke zoni ke zoni pani ni pani so ke. We have a diatonic here. Ke soni. Let's see. Ke soni zo ke di ke di go di ke soni zo ke di. Let me do that phrase again on he who freed Adam, and I want you to listen to it and tell me what you notice. Que soni zo ke di ke di go di ke zo ke. Yeah, that wasn't very good. Di ke soni zo ke di. So what happened there?
The zo is natural on the way up, and on the way down it's flattened, right?
Yeah. So on he who.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and then what happens later around in the Jordan? Listen to it again.
It switches back to hard chromatic, and so the zo doesn't move.
Nope, it doesn't switch back to hard chromatic.
No,
Oh, I see.
Is this another agia?
Yeah, it's another agia.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
So I think it's so where you have that pushing up the note symbol, that's a ga, and then on in that's a the, and so then when you have the kezo on the at apostrophe too, those are all pulled up. So in the Jordan. So even the first two on Jor are pulled up. And then it's when you finally descend that the zo and k move back. So I'll do that whole phrase again. On he who freed. Que soni zo ke di ke di go di ke soni zo ke di. Could you hear it? Okay, so I'm going to go on. So this is where it switches back to hard chromatic. Pa di ke di ga di ga bu pa ke zoni zo ke di ga bu ga di ke zo ke di ke di ga bu pa ga di ke ke, pa ke zo ke zo ni zo ke di ke zo ke. So that's another tricky spot with that rhythm, and I'll do that a few more times. On this one. Ke zo ni zo ke di go di ke pa ke zo ni zo ke di ke. Oops, I didn't do the triplet right. Okay, so on is pierced. Pa ke zo ni zo ke di ke zo ke. I'll go slower and I'll do it from the same spot on is pierced. Pa ke zo ni zo ke di ke zo ke. I think my triplet was a little off. Pa ke zo ni zo ke di zo ke dio zo ni ke zo ke. Pa ke zo ni zo ke di zo ke. Sorry, I'm saying that wrong. Pa ke zo ni zo ke di zo ke di ke zo ke di ke zo ke. Pa ke zo ni zo ke di ke zo ke di ke zo ke di go di ke zo ke di go di ke zo ke di go di go vu pa pa vu go di go vu pa vu go di go vu pa. So that rhythm on is pierced was tripping me up. So just to clarify, this apostrophos affects this. So this is 1.5. So this is a half. Yeah, I was doing it wrong. And then this gorgon makes both of these a half beat. And then this apostrophos affects the middle, like the first apostrophos here and this one here. And then the second apostrophos gets the extra beat on the klasma. So it should be di ke zo ke. No. Okay. I think I was doing right. Di ke zo ke di go vu pa pa. Okay, so let's start at we worship. Pa di. And now this one, when I was chanting it, I wanted to often go up to K because you've done that so much. So you need to be careful. If you go up to K, then you won't go down to this ni. So be watching for that. If you end on pa, you've gone up too high. Pa di ga vu pa ni. Pa di ke di ga vu pa. Pa ke zo ni pa ke zo ni pa ni. And that's, let me see that. Pa ke zo ni pa ni zon. I'm not getting that. Pa ke zo ni pa ni zo ke. So this should be a simple, like, think about it. For me, some reason when I have to jump from K to ni on the upper tetrachord, I want to do it I want to do a diatonic for some reason. I don't think you do that here, but type of thing where sometimes I get thrown off. And I think it would help if I would think about it more is just mirroring the lower tetrachord, because I don't have problems with the intervals in the lower tetrachord in general. All right, let me do that phrase again. We worship. Pa ke zo ni pa ni zo ke So I find what helps me is I'm a very visual person, and so I actually picture the little colored cards that I made with the tetrachord cards as I sing it. So the more you can get when you're that you can kind of picture where you are in the tetrachord, that will help you. Okay, I'm going to go on this. I'm going to start on your. Dike dike zoke di gavu dike zo ni zo poponi zoke 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 di ke di ni zo zoke zo ni zoke di. Okay, so that's a pretty tricky spot there. First of all, you have this up 3 jump, which you haven't really done. You don't really do very often, I don't think, in the hard chromatic scale, a D to ni. But let's see if we pull this up. Hard chromatic, D to ni. Let me look at that again. I was thinking this was a perfect, oh, sorry, wrong one. D to ni. Okay, right here. So the way I was actually doing this was I was doing the jump in the diatonic because that's a perfect fourth. And to do a D to ni in the hard chromatic, I was thinking it was a perfect fourth too, but I don't think so. Or wait, okay, 20, 32, 38. Yeah, no, that's not. So I really think that you need to switch to the diatonic for this jump. And I think that's because you want to when you get back here, you need to end on the again. And I believe it does work that way. So let's see. Let me have an E song. So this is the, but before I do it again, let's talk about that phrase. So you're ni zo zo ke zo ni zo ke di. Do you know what kind of phrase that is? It's okay. This, yeah, I believe this is an agia phrase. So I should have asked about this ahead of time, just to be sure. But it sounds like agia to me. So ni zo zo ke zo. So that K and that zo are pulled up. Ni zo zo ke zo so ni zo ke di. So you're still kind of in the upper part. Ni zo zo ke so ni up until that point, and then on that apostrophos in show, the first apostrophos, that's when you really go into this descent back to the. So it's not a clear cut like every time you descend, zo and k are flat. That's kind of how I thought about it for a really long time, and like if you look in that last piece, that's just not the way it is. It actually, it depends much more about the way the melody is moving. So in this case, ni zo zo ke zo ni, you really have the dominant pitch of the zo. The melody is revolving around the zo, and so it's upper, it's higher, and so because of that, those pitches are pulled up. Ni zo zo ke zo ni zo ke di. But once you hit that apostrophos, then you're on your descent back to the. So then you have the zo flat and the k natural. Okay, so let me have an E-son on the, and I will start on show us where it's still hard chromatic, and do that jump, and then we'll see after show us when we switch back to hard chromatic, we should be back on the V again. Show. Sorry. Show. Show. Sorry. Show. I'm not on the right pitch. Okay, so that's, I'm sorry, that's a that's a zo. That's why I'm having trouble. Zo ke di ke di ni zo ke so ni zo ke di Godi ke pa. So yeah, we went back to the. Let me do it again. Zo ke di ni zo ke so ni zo ke di Godi ke go pa Godi go pa. Okay. Let me do that whole thing on Melos. Today he who suspended the earth in the waters is suspended on a cross. The King of the angels wears a crown of thorns. He who wraps the sky in clouds is wrapped in a thick purple robe. He who freed Adam in the Jordan accepts to be slapped. The bridegroom of the church is every time is fixed with nails to the cross. The Son of the Virgin is pierced with a spear. We worship your passion, O Christ. We worship your passion, O Christ. We worship your passion, O Christ. resurrection. Okay, any questions on that before we go on? Okay, I have to go and get a drink of water because my throat is starting to hurt and I'm getting kind of croaky. So I'll be back in just 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. I've been fighting a sore throat all week, so I have to be careful. Okay, so this one is a bit shorter. Same sort of thing though. So here's Melos. Nay, glory to the Father and to the Son and the Holy Spirit. I want to go back and point something out. So this is the spot I was thinking of on fixed. I had to stop, and you probably heard me say every time. I don't do that in church, but when I practice, things like that come out. So I kind of lost where I was, and I tried to take that zo up higher. That the zo is close to the K because it's the second pitch in the upper tetrachord. So be careful there. I don't know. It seems like oftentimes different people have different problems, so you probably won't have a problem there. Okay, so now they strip me. I'll do that in paralegi. See, that's the other spot. So that jump up to knee, you have to remember is higher. And I would write that in my music, but I'm using the electronic copy, so I can't. If I had written in my music, I would have remembered to do it. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's changing to diatonic, okay. And yeah, okay, so sorry. And you let me start on a crown of thorns. Pavu gadi gadi kazoni zoke zoni zokeri. Okay, so who knows what happened there?
Agya.
Yay, yay. Yep, that's Agya. And it's like, it doesn't even give you much of a chance to, switch right away on that K. I mean, I've heard before that, you don't have to raise the first K right away if, because in some case it's really a lot harder. In this instance, it actually didn't seem that hard to do it, so I would do it there. On the laid a crown of thorns, that one is not really so obvious to me as being Agya, and the Isan isn't up on the, so. So I would say that, I mean, you go up to ni, but you're right away, you're going on your descent back to the, and so I wouldn't change those pitches. I wouldn't attract them up because it's really just the first K that would be affected. And so I wouldn't do that one there. And plus the Isan's not on the, so I'm doubtful that that's actually an Agya phrase. Okay, but in my right hand, yes, that's definitely Agya. So let me go on from, well, I'll do the Agya phrase. Sorry, I didn't know. Sorry. Let me do that. So sometimes when I switch back into hard chromatic, I notice when I descend, my vu isn't quite low enough. And I think that was an instance where I did it there. So you have to be careful. And they put the keri gadi ga upa upa pa 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 ke the ke son. Sorry. Ke the ke son zo ke the. So you've got this. What is that right there? Go ahead, say it.
Agya.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to torture you. So yes, another Agya phrase. You have the K Thora telling you to go diatonic. You're going up upper tetrachord. Isan switches to the. Unlike the last phrase. Gadi keri ga gadi ga upa upa pa. Okay, any questions about it before I do it on Melos? Okay. They stripped me. They stripped me of my clothing and put a purple cloak on me. On my head they laid a crown of thorns, and in my right hand they put a wreath. the potter's vessels. Sorry about that one. That wasn't quite as good. It's getting late and I'm tired. Any questions? Let me go back so I can see you. So are you guys gonna do this one? Do these?
I think I'll be chanting this with Isam.
Good.
Yeah.
Will he be coming to your church or you're going over there?
No, I'm going over there.
Cool. Well, that'll be exciting.
We will do the long Evlogitaria alternating Arabic and English. I just was looking at the Arabic alongside, and it's very, very similar too.
Oh. Cool. That will be nice. What about the Thursday Idiomelon? Do you have Arabic for that too?
I do. That's very different though, but I really love the music for this. We're gonna definitely, me and Peter will practice again. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, next week I could probably meet on Tuesday next week again. So if there's something that you'd like to go through, leave it in the comments. And if you have an actual link to the music, that's helpful because I'm not very good at hunting down music. I don't have to do that at my church. James Esper is usually the one who hunts down all the music. So,
Yeah, sorry, I should have put the link for the. I'm sorry.
That's okay, no problem. Yeah, so if you have the link, just put it in. If not, then that's fine. You know, just say what you want, and we can look for it too. But if you do have it, yeah, that'd be great. So yeah, we can plan on Tuesday. Does that work for you guys next week? Or if it doesn't, whatever. So yeah, if you have something, then let me know. Okay. Have a good night.
Thanks so much, Amy.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you, Amy.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, bye.